huge mission, as are Sweden. But, you know, Germany, Great Britain, France, Sweden are top 4 nations at the moment.
Díaz Fernández rides Junco CP in the last 3 Europeans and the World Equestrian Games in 2014. 10th at Sevilla last year, and this year clear cross country at Trego.
Carlos Díaz Fernández and Junco CP, there you go, last for Spain. This 11-year-old by Ebony de Montaña. It's a Spanish Anglo-Arab horse. Carlos Díaz Fernández, Spanish team rider, has ridden at the last 3 Europeans and at last year's World Equestrian Games. This was his World Equestrian Games horse. Cross-country clears at Stragom and Aridaban this year at the 3-star level, and last spring, in spring 2014, they were 10th at Saumur.
Made a fairly positive entry, but was wide behind in the halt. Slight loss of balance at the start of that medium trot, but then some elegant steps and a little loss of balance through that corner below us at K. Just would like to see, as I've said several times before, a little more suppleness and bend through those half passes. I want to see the horse actually allowing the rider to put him round his inside leg. Another horse in the double bridle. To be fair, I haven't really seen any of the horses that are in the double bridles that you feel have been resisting them or a little bit against the hand. Funny, each time he comes to do the transition back, he always gives a little hop as though he can't quite engage and get those hind legs underneath him. If the rider can put the horse's hind legs underneath them, that to a degree is the braking situation. It's a bit like taking your car down by changing down a gear rather than jamming the brakes on when you want to slow down. Good purpose in that walk. Keep that rhythm. Make sure that as you make the walk steps a little bit shorter and a little bit higher, and the outline a little more condensed, that he doesn't lose his regularity and the steady, clear rhythm in the walk. Kept the walk rhythm through that pirouette quite well.
At the moment, 65% is worth about 44th, 45th position in the individual classification.
Just a little bit landing on the shoulders there. Clean change. There we go to the longer steps, and could have a slightly more direct transition to return to the collected canter rather than just beginning to slow down. Looking quite well balanced through these counter-counter serpentine loops. And another clean, correct change. Not the biggest, not the most massive, expressive change. Clearly opens up into the longer steps for the extension. just takes a little bit too long to make that transition back into the collection.
So final halt and salute for the final
there.
Spanish team rider, Carlos Díaz Fernández and Junco CP.
Confirmed score for Nicholas Lindback and Centurion of 38.1 and into 10th place.
No change for the score of Nicholas Lindback either. We're just listening really keenly to those scores as they come in and be confirmed because the team competition is so close. Germany a little bit out in front, 10 penalties in front of Great Britain, but Great Britain 1-1-2, France 1-1-5, Sweden 1-1-9.
Only half a stop,
Yeah.
10 penalties ahead. But I think time's going to be very important tomorrow on this course. These riders are really going to have to keep their eye on the fuel tank.
You know, it's 25 seconds over the optimum as 10 penalties.
Yes.
And it's across, the difference is across 3 competitors as well. So even if Great Britain were able to turn in their 3 counting scores as clear as in the time, if the Germans had 4 or 5 time penalties each for their 3 counting scores. I mean, there's so many variations.
Absolutely.
But as we said about the team scores today, we'll know all the answers at 4:30. But tomorrow evening, we'll know exactly what this course has done and the influence it's had on the competition.
And who would have expected last week at Burley, Michael Young, just to have that little trip in the water and blow the chances so early on? Still a little bit lame, I see.
He's got a bad ankle actually after that fall.
Lovely clean change there. Again, a little balance issue before he came into that corner, and Carlos actually got a little bit more engagement in the hind leg, which brought the horse more uphill.
So the last to go at the Longines FPI European Eventing Championships in
I
the
think they might have just lost the computer link during the collective marks, so we might just have to wait until our last of the day to get Carlos Díaz Fernández's provisional score. So we're going to move on then. And look at that beautiful Perthshire sunshine for our last of the competition in the dressage.